Hey everybody, welcome to Making the Game. From concept to Kickstarter, I'm your host Reece, and in this podcast we talk about making our first game, Blood Throne, from concept through crowdfunding, design, production, distribution, and more. As you can see, I'm recording from my lovely studio in my new home, so please forgive me. I'm still in the process, my wife and I are still in the process of unpacking and get everything organized. So forgive the background, it will look a lot better as we go forward. Also, sorry I haven't recorded in quite a while. Been head down working nonstop with the team to get everything ready to go into production. And very exciting news, production has begun. Pew, pew, pew. Yes, you heard that correct. We have begun production. So what that means specifically, it's a multi-stage process. We started making the miniatures mass produced. So if you're reading this article on any of our various sites, on GameFound, Kickstarter, frontlinegaming.org, or bloodthrone.org, you can see the images. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can. If you're just listening to the audio version, head over to any of those sites, and then you can see for yourself the glory that is finally going into production, baby. So the reason that we started doing the miniatures first is we're still doing some like little tweaks and fine tuning on some of the print materials, and I'll go into that in depth because it's actually really interesting. But the miniatures have an assembly stage, right? You don't have to put them together; they come pre-assembled. So that's the longest part of the process. So we started that so that we can finish these last little like, the double-sided game board needs to have the art adjusted like a quarter of an inch or a couple millimeters over to one side, all that little like fiddly stuff, because we're basically done with it all. Just we're doing those last little like fine touches. The factory was like, let's get rolling, which was great news. Great news. Really, really excited, relieved, excited to finally be saying like we have begun making the game, which is what everybody's been waiting to hear, and I'm happy to share that information. Also, I really apologize that in the summer I jumped the gun. I thought we'd already be delivering the game by now, but that's just due to my inexperience. When we handed everything over, I thought that it was ready to rock and roll. However, once you get all the print material, which in this game there is a ton, this game is just packed to the gills. When we realized we had to make some changes, there's 200 unique cards, over 200 unique cards. There's 300 cards total, and another 300 in the hero expansion. When you have to go in and adjust them, you have to adjust each iteration of the card by hand. There's over 300 tokens. So it took freaking forever, right? And it's little stuff that now that we've done it once, we won't do again. It's like, some files were in RGB color format, some were in CMYK. Well, they all have to be the same. Some of the resolution was different from one to the next. One needs to all be correct. The factory doesn't have this font type. Okay, well, we need to figure out how we're going to get you that. Like, there's all this like little stuff, and then like the dual layer boards were such a pain in the butt. I see why a lot of games don't use them, although I think easily worth the trouble because they're way better, in my opinion. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, those are boards that have a bottom layer and then a top layer, and they have little like recesses in it so you can put tokens in there and they don't move around. They're sturdier, they look better. They're way more expensive to make, but they're just better. So it's worth it having to go through all this like, okay, we have to readjust the sizes of them, and we have a bunch in the game. There's one for each hero, each summon, campaign management board, and the initiative tracker, and we had to redo all of them. But again, well worth it because they make the game look and feel better, easier to play, and just higher quality. So we finally got all that done and behind us. That was a bear, but that's why I haven't been recording. I've just been completely focused on trying to get this stuff done so we can go into production. Also, in my personal life, really excited. Our baby boy is going to be coming next month, in almost exactly a month. So it's a little nervous. Desperately trying to get everything done before the baby comes, obviously, which it should be. My portion of it is all done. I'm just in the QC quality control phase personally. So really excited to welcome our son to the world and just hoping for a healthy delivery for mom and baby. And really excited for that. Don't really feel like I'm prepared, but super excited. And we were actually out. We were back in California for 2 weeks. I had a trip scheduled to go see family, and I thought this would all have been done. So we had a lot that all happened at once. Because my two remaining grandparents are in their 90s and they hadn't had a chance to meet my wife. They, due to their age, they couldn't travel to the wedding. So I wanted them to get the chance to meet her. And, once the baby's born, we're not going to be able to travel probably for a while. And, when they're older like that, you don't want to miss an opportunity to see them. So been crazy. Then we bought a house, which we're super thankful to be settled before the baby comes, but it was nuts because we were in escrow for a really long period of time, and we didn't think we were going to qualify for the loan because we had the money to put the absolute minimum down with FHA, and then at the last minute, after thinking it wasn't going to work, they're like, "Oh, can you be here in 3 hours to sign the paperwork?" And it was super frantic, and then we had to move really quickly, and then when we moved into the house, it's a cool house, but anyone who's been through this knows there was a ton of stuff that wasn't working. So I've been doing the handyman thing constantly because we spent all our money on buying the house. So it's well, I got to fix this myself or see if I can, find a buddy to help me. So anyway, it's just been very hectic, but been working nonstop on getting this ready to go. Thank you so much for your patience. It's been a hectic couple of years, Kickstarter, married, moved, bought a house, baby. It's been a lot, but here we are. We managed to keep all the plates spinning and not lose my sanity, at least not entirely. Okay, so enough about me. I know that's probably more than anybody wanted to hear. The only thing that we're still doing right now, besides those little fine tuning things, like I mentioned, the game board is double sided because I wanted it to not be the same thing every time. And we have a ton of terrain, the pop-up terrain. We basically made our first game on hard mode. And it's because I had a clear vision of the kind of game that I wanted to see, and I didn't want to compromise. So I now see why there's so many games that don't have this stuff in the game because it's hard to make. And especially on your first shot. I've been playing a lot of Twilight Imperium lately, and you pretty much have to have third-party organizational tools to play that game. For those of you who don't know, it's a grand strategy space opera. Really, really fun game. Very extraordinarily complicated. And you have to have all these organizational tools. And when I play games now, I'm always thinking it would have been cool if they would have done this instead of that, or obviously borrowing ideas that I think are good. And then Gloomhaven is a game I really love too. And you basically have to have a third-party organizational tool, or it's borderline impossible to keep track of it. I wanted Blood Throne to come with everything you needed. I'm sure there's somebody out there that could be oh, well, if you had this doodad or this, gadget, it would be better. But I feel confident that the game will be really organized and easy to play right out of the box. But that extra 10% of effort on our part to make it easier for you to play it increased the complexity significantly. So I don't feel bad. I wouldn't change anything. I think that we did it the right way. And of course, anybody that has ideas for ways to make it easier to use, better organized, how to structure it, I'm all ears. Sorry about that. One of my cats jumped up here. And that's kind of the next phase of this, right? So now that my job is basically just monitoring the quality of everything as they go into production, I'm going to be back into a normal routine of coming out with a podcast every week. I'm going to get back into the in-depth series. We're going to finish the classes in the core box. We're going to go through the classes in the hero expansion. And I'm really excited also to show off the art and the models for the next expansion, which we're going to do next year. They look amazing. I've been sitting on them for a while because I don't want it to seem like we're not focused on finishing the task at hand, which we are. However, they look so good, and I'm so excited to show them off. So as soon as we are fully, we are in production, everything's smooth, I'm not, no delays, no nothing, we'll start doing some sneak peeks so that everybody can get excited for what's to come in the future. And my next focus, obviously, when the baby comes, there's probably going to be about a month where I'm like just adjusting to my new reality. But my focus is going to be on community building, community engagement. I can't wait to get the game myself, but I can't wait for everybody else to get the game. I want to hear what you like, what you don't like. If you think there's a mechanic that doesn't work, tell me. I'm 100% open, all ears. If there's a mechanic that you think is cool, that would be great to hear as well. If there's anything that, if you think any of the skills for the heroes aren't good enough, if you think that some are too good, let me know. And I have a lot of experience managing massive tabletop gaming community-driven communities. So I founded what was called the ITC, or the International Tournament Circuit, for Warhammer games. And basically we ran like the organized play scene for Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, and some other games. It's now being run by Games Workshop itself. But at the peak, when I was managing it, we had like 15,000 registered players. So I have a lot of experience in this area, and I'm really excited to utilize that skill set. So let me know once you hit the game if there's anything that's unclear. We'll FAQ it right away or errata it. For balance issues, I'll set up a mechanism for aggregating feedback, and I want everybody to feel like they're a part of it, because you 100% will be. This is going to be a community-driven game, and I have a clear vision for where I want to go, but I want everyone to be feeling like we're all rowing the boat together, because there's no ego here. I want to make the game that everybody wants to play, and I'm really excited to finally get that out there. So currently, Core Box Gorgontis expansion, that ship is sailing. For the Hero expansion, basically we're just finishing up some layout stuff, but that will be done before we're done with the current step. So just to give everybody another kind of a reminder, I guess, for the Hero expansion, that gives you 12 more heroes. So, and plus 2 summons that you get in there that are really fun. There's a clockwork crab named Pinchy, and then there's a wolf, Grey Wolf. The ranger gets a wolf, and his name is Swiftpaw. I couldn't help myself. I was like, Grey Wolf needs a wolf pet, man. And then it also gives you a gigantic book called the Tome of Adventure. And because of the delays, which I'm not happy about, I did not waste the time. I wasn't sitting around twiddling my thumbs. The book is going to be 256 pages. It's about 200 pages of lore. There's hundreds of pieces of art. It also gives you the 4 rules for creating your own heroes. So it's like D&D Light. I've talked about it a lot in the past. It gives you rules for making your own monsters. So if you have a monster that you want to use in a custom campaign, you can do that. It also gives you rules for, obviously, the PvP campaign, which takes place after the events of the Tower of Sacrifice core box game. And it involves what happens to the city after that game when refugees start flowing in, and it becomes a really important location. And the two factions in the game currently, the adherents to Zenith and the Iconoclasts, are waging this kind of special ops shadow war to try and control the city. So that's the PvP campaign. It's a full campaign. There's base building mechanics, all kinds of stuff. Super fun. Infinite replayability because of the way it's structured. You can play it with the heroes, the pre-made heroes. You can play with custom heroes. The Tome of Adventure also gives you rules for making custom campaigns, like RPG style. And it gives you ideas for adventure hooks, things of this nature. There's also skirmish mode, which lets you play just one-off PvP games. It's just the easiest way to play a Blood Throne. You each come with 6 heroes, play a game, have fun. And we included in free-for-all, which is really fun. It's recommended to play it as a draft format, so it's the most lighthearted and fun way to play Blood Throne. I actually play it with my friends here a lot, where basically you take all the hero boards, line them up, you take turns picking 3, you draft them, and then you put the miniatures on the table, and you can play 1v1v1 or 4-player free-for-all. It's super fun. Very, very easy way to play the game. So, there's a ton. And the lore goes super deep. I think people are going to be pretty surprised at how much depth there is to the universe. Like we really, really worked hard on the lore. And the book kind of gives you like an idea of what's to come, right? With all the different factions that we're hoping to cover and all sorts of fun stuff. So get excited for that. The book's going to look amazing. I also had time since the fall start in the summer, which again, I'm embarrassed and I'm sorry about. I was able to make an insanely detailed map of the city. The city is called New Jasmine. It's built on the ruins of Old Jasmine, which in the lore, you'll understand what that means. But it's like, I don't know why I did this to myself. This one took forever. But it's like a Where's Waldo picture. It's just a ludicrous amount of detail in it. But I'm really happy with the way it came out. So if you'll see the visual now. If you're listening, you can go and see the picture. And it's huge. It's gigantic. Like if we wanted to print it out as a poster, we could. It's like 8K. Really fun. Really fun. It actually wasn't fun to make it. It was fun at first, and then it was a slog. At any rate, I was able to include that and then really focus on polishing everything, going over the lore, giving it little tweaks, making sure the art was all looking good. And also, if you're going to be at Spiel in Germany, which for those of you who don't know, Spiel is the biggest tabletop gaming convention in the world. It's over 200,000 people, I believe, in Germany. The factory Unical is pushing really hard to have the game at Spiel, and it made me feel really good because we communicate daily basically, but they were showing me pictures of the production models, and they were like, these are legitimately some of the best models we've ever seen for a game. So that made me feel really good. And they really want to have the game at Spiel because they feel it will help bring them more business, which, it always feels nice. This is the water they swim in. And so from their point of view, from at least a visual perspective, obviously they haven't played the game. They think it looks amazing because really when you put it all out with the 3D terrain, the terrain tiles, the double-sided map, the campaign map with reusable stickers, the miniatures, some of which, again, are huge, and I've showed them off, and the quality and the detail is really, really, really good. I think that's going to be the main selling point of the game, is just how cool it looks when it's all set up. So if you're at Spiel, check it out. Go to the Unicool booth. And it made me feel good that they were that excited to show off the game. So take that for what you will, but it certainly made me feel good. And then finally, the last thing that we're working on for the core box is just the box itself. And we had to wait to do that until we knew how big the box was going to be to do the graphic layout. We went for like a minimalist approach. I think it's going to look really striking, really professional. I think it's really going to grab people's attention. We took inspiration from Kingdom Death Monster, which is a really popular indie board game for anybody who's heard of it. And I love the game. It's very risque. The themes aren't for everybody, but in terms of like the quality of it, I think it's top notch. And I love the way they designed their box. So we kind of took inspiration from that. It's going to be all black. It's going to have a minimalistic, just the logo on the front. It looks really sharp. But on the back, we needed help from the factory with all the little like safety legal stuff, like the little symbols and all this sort of stuff you put on it. I was hoping to show it off in this video, but I asked the graphic artist to make some tweaks so that it would look a little sharper. I'll be able to show that off in the next update. It's as I understand it, it's probably done while I've been recording this. But yeah, that was it. That was the last action item. So at any rate, that's what to expect with the Hero expansion. It's going to be a really, really awesome product. It ended up being bigger than we thought because we had more time to work on it. And I'm just stoked. I'm really excited to finally be able to say we are making the gosh dang game. And I can't wait to get it in your hands. I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Please let me know. Any and all feedback is welcome, and it will 100% be listened to. So at any rate, I don't want to drone on forever. It's been very hectic. Again, thank you so much for your patience and understanding, as like my personal life has been very chaotic with all very good stuff. I feel very blessed. And here we go. We're getting ready to actually play the game. I'm super stoked for that. And my life's going to be really settled for the foreseeable future. So expect regular updates. Yeah. Thanks for listening. And I'll be back next week with another in-depth article Can't wait to get this baby in our hands.